Hey, what up y'all? Mr. Cruz here, your friendly neighborhood producer, back with another video. And in today's video, I'm going to show you guys how you can record your own samples and your own sounds into Bandlab's sampler. Let's go. All right, so for today's video, I'm going to show you guys how you can record your own samples. So in this beat right now, this is just a simple drum loop, and then I've recorded my own vocal, like a little vocal one-shot thing, and I'm going to show you guys here what it sounds like. I'm going to show you guys how you can do the exact same thing. I can do a lot better, but just for time's sake, this is kind of the reason why I did this. So down here is where I've recorded it. I'm going to go ahead and delete this sample here. You're actually going to need two things in order to be able to do this. You're going to need a microphone, and then you're going to need some sort of instrument, an object, or just like your voice, like making sounds with your mouth or whatever. When I have the sampler selected, right, I'm going to go down here to where it says input, and then I'm going to make sure that my microphone is showing up or that it's connected. And in this case, right now I'm recording through this one right here that says analog 1 and 2 Focusrite, but I'm actually going to be recording with this one right here that says the Blue Snowball. Pretty common USB mic. You can use a USB mic. You can use any kind of like desktop mic that plugs into like a headphone jack, or you can have something that's kind of fancy like this one right here with an audio interface. So you're going to need that. This down here, this is my MIDI controller. I'm not necessarily going to need it. I'm going to use it, but you don't need this because these letters here, this corresponds to the keys on your keyboard that you type with. So if you have at least a keyboard, then you'll be able to kind of trigger some of these sounds here. All right, so let's go ahead and do this. Now, I'm going to hit record, and then as I hit record, I'm just going to do the little yah sound like a couple of times. All right, so hold on a second. I'm going to move this off screen a little bit here, and let's go. Yeah. 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 I wanted to make sure that I gave myself a little bit of a lag, like you see how I have enough space there. That's just to catch any of the tail, because I don't want it to cut off. I don't want to say yeah and then immediately hit stop, because then it's going to kind of cut the sound off there. So I have 3 different instances of this here. Now let's go ahead. I'm going to see if I can find this on my keyboard. Right there. All right. And I also have an effect on it, but I'm going to bypass these effects just because I want to get a nice clean sound here. The reason why I recorded 3 different instances is because I want to be able to just to pick the best one. I like this one. Yeah. I like this one. Yeah. I like that first one more. Let's see this last one. Yeah. Yeah. All right, I think I'm gonna stick with this last one here. So I'm gonna move these to kind of trim it. This is called truncating. I'm gonna truncate that sample so that I can isolate it a little bit better. Let's see if I can move it just a little bit closer. Yeah, yeah. All right, that sounds good. So now that we have that, we can go in here to our MIDI editor and then find out, you know, what spots do we want that yah sound to like play at. And you can kind of see here, I just kind of repeated it. Let me see if I can zoom out a little bit so I can see the whole thing in its entirety. One of the things that you'll kind of get caught up on is as you're doing this, you might have to scroll down to get to the sample that you had, because you just can't fit all 16 samples in one viewing here. So I'm going to hit play here, and we're just going to find a spot where that vocal sample will sound good at. Which I think, if I remember right, it was right there. Yeah. All right, let's move this over here. Yeah. Let's move it forward. Yeah. Money. That's the one right there. So once I have that, I'm pretty much set. I'm going to go over here to sampler, and I can kind of adjust the volume if I needed to. You can either do that here, but this is going to affect the volume of any other samples that you have in here, or you can just change the volume of that single sample. Since this is just one single sample, I'm going to go ahead and turn up just this one pad and see how this sounds now. Yeah. All right, that sounds good. And then under the effects, this is kind of where I just threw a couple of effects that I thought would sound good on it. I threw a delay on there, and then I threw some reverb after the delay because I wanted it to be like, yeah, 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 yeah. This ping pong delay is probably the best thing out of all the delays that I've seen in Bandlab. So I'm gonna stick to this one. And then I just kind of adjust the resolution, or essentially like at what point in time in like the sequence is it going to repeat after it's been triggered, and mess around with the mix knob and throw, you know, a reverb on there. And now this is kind of what we got. And that's it. It's as simple as that. So it took less than 10 minutes to be able to knock all of that out. Hopefully this is something that's helpful to you guys. But again, you don't have to just use your voice. You can use a bunch of stuff that you might have like around your bedroom. Use friggin' like items from like the spice rack, or, you know, pencils and cups, and like start tapping them together. But the whole point is that this gives you the capabilities to create your own sound. So that way, like when you're creating something and you put out a song, like it has sounds in it that nobody else has. But do me a favor, if you felt like you've learned something in this video today, hit that like button for me, and let me know in the comments below if you have ever recorded your own samples and used them in a song of yours. I'd really be interested in knowing what kind of sounds, like weird stuff, that have you ever recorded in your music. If you're interested in checking out some other Bandlab videos, click right here. Outside of that, it's your boy Mr. Cruz, out.